Welcome to yet another episode of Rise and Thrive, where we discuss, share experiences on our business and finance, the different journeys that we are taking, right? And today, I am excited. I'm always excited. But today I have someone in the studio that I've known for a while, and I'm her client. But you know, when you have people you buy things from, people you network with, and you low-key wonder how they do it. You're like, ochikolotia, right? So this is the person that I've brought today. And the reason why I have her is really because I admire the fact that she does not have one or two shops. She has products that she sells. She's a trader, but I admire that she has persisted. I admire that she sources. I'm really excited to speak to her about how she sources some of her things, and I think we'll be able to learn from her. But what is even more exciting, guys, is I think us Brendas, we are just amazing, beautiful people. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you my namesake, the beautiful Brenda Walusimbi. I'll let her introduce herself. She'll tell us who she is, what she does, and then we'll take on the introduction from there. So you're welcome to the show, Brenda. I'm so excited to have you, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I am equally as excited as you are. Yeah, my name is Brenda Atwire Walusimbi. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter, I'm a niece, I am a friend, but more than anything, I'm a businesswoman, and I believe that's what I'm here to talk about today. Yeah.
Yes. So what business are you in?
Oh, so I deal in ladies' accessories, anything ladies' accessories, from handbags to shoes to jewelry, watches, brooches, and sometimes here and there I do put in a few clothes, a few blazers, kids clothes. Yeah, so I'm a trader of all seasons, of all things, mainly ladies and kids.
And kids, yes. So guys, I normally buy my beautiful earrings because I'm a jewelry chick, jewelry and shoes. So she's basically my hookup. So I'm sharing my hookup with you guys. Thank you very much. So Brenda, you finish school and you decide, I'm not going to go into employment.
No.
What motivated you? Did you grow up in a business family? What pushed you to say, okay, because not many of us were thinking that way when we finished school.
Yeah. So I'll just take you back a little bit about how I ended up finding myself in business. So, of course, after uni, everyone is looking for jobs. And I was there. I was employed. I worked for a very good organization called Deloitte and Touche, Deloitte Uganda Limited, yes.
Wow.
I worked with them for 6.5 years. I worked for a project. I was under a project. I was first mainstream Deloitte, and then later on, as a promotion, I joined a project.
Yeah.
And the project usually was like 2 years, but then we were renewing contracts every after 2 years, sometimes maybe 9 months, depending on, the funding from the different donors here and there. Yeah. So I worked on that project for 6.5 years. And it was an amazing project. I never at any one point thought I would leave employment. Why? Because I had an amazing family at work, an amazing team, so much support and very good people, that I worked with for that long time. But so after some time, the project came to an end and they were not going to renew it then. And then there was a job for me at Deloitte at that moment, but I felt like it was not my line that I had wanted to go in, because now I was working as a project admin and grants officer around that time. So I wanted to continue in grants, and the job that was available then was not in line with what I wanted. So I chose to wait it out and look for jobs. But around that time, I found out I was pregnant with my second born. So looking for jobs when you're pregnant, you're worried. Will people take you in? Will they allow you to come? Will they allow you to come and work? Maybe you're still on probation for like 3-6 months, and then your stomach is, showing that anytime soon you're also leaving. So I was not exactly actively looking for jobs. So I had to look, but not really actively look, So I waited until I was done having my second born. I went back into the job search. And I think mentally at that point, I felt like I was not fit.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, I've lost like a whole year. I've not been employed for a whole year. Is my brain still that active?
Yeah.
Will I, because I've not used a laptop in a while. I've not used Excel. I've not used, I've not done all these things in a long time,
Yeah.
So I happened to talk to a cousin of mine, Shivan, and I told her, you know what, I need to do something. She told me, you know what, come and we do business.
Yeah.
You can do it, So I thought about it. Luckily, while I was still employed, while I was still at Deloitte, I was somehow a shopaholic. Not really shopaholic, but I love jewelry. I love the small, tiny things, So I would go shop and everyone would be like, oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. Oh, you have a good taste. I'm like, okay, thank you. So I thought to myself, well, this is an opportunity. This is someone who is willing to take you, to go with you, to explore, try and do business. At that moment, by the time, let me take you back a little bit. By the time I was done with Deloitte, I had saved some little money, about maybe 16, 17 million. And then 1 year later, I had less than like 1.5 million. So I figured I needed to get money. Obviously, I'm not a kind of person to stay home and just chill, No. I've been working like from Essex vacation, So I knew I had to give it a try. So she told me, by the way, had you started then when you had that money, you didn't have even needed to borrow. But now you need money, So I had to talk things through with my husband, and we got money from different places. Family lent me, my auntie, So that's how I ended up finding myself in business with the love that I had to pick items, this, that, the other, I loved
it's got the beautiful eye, like you can easily pick out the nice tiny things.
Yes. So I thought maybe I would go out, shop different items for the different people, come back, maybe go to offices, to my former workmates, to my friends in offices, because I figured that's where my taste draws better, more of corporate, not really corporate, but more of corporate, and then later for after work or the weekend, but still the corporate person is the one that I was looking at dressing or picking items for. That's how I ended up in business.
Okay, that's so interesting. I think that the fact that you were able to for you, then you knew there and then that you had to borrow the money, and you talked it over with your partner. I think that's very important. And so, why jewelry? Okay, I know someone brought you in, and you like the tiny things, but you could have done shoes, you could have done bags, you should have done. Was it easier? I know you love the pretty things, but was that a natural attraction for you that it would have to be jewelry?
Okay, now it's not. Just point of correction, it's not only jewelry. First, it was the love for the handbags. If I remember on that very first trip, I bought like so many handbags, and the type that I was looking, the type that I was picking was not drawing the exact attention that my person that was with me on the trip had. She had this thing of, really, this bag? And I'm like, if like whoever understands this bag will understand it.
Yes.
And so it was bags, it was the shoes, and they were really taking them. So I was really happy. The jewelry, why? Why jewelry? Because it is light. For you to be able to make like 23 kilos worth of jewelry, you can imagine something as small as this, to be able to make 23 kgs worth of it, that means you've really invested quite a bit of money. Yes, a lot of money in there. So that means also the return will be equally, will be higher than the bags. The bags and the shoes are very good. The margins are not bad, but they are bulky. So you can imagine only about 10 or 12 bags, or maybe 15 at most, will make up already 23 kilos. So the return on those bags is not as much as the return on the jewelry, as much as the investment might not be the same, but still 23 kgs worth of jewelry is quite a bit of money. And so is the return, So that's how come I ended up deciding to like really stick it out to jewelry. Let it be the watches. They're a little bit bulky, but for you to be able to make like 10 kilos of like watches, you need like maybe like 60 80 pieces. And those are not small, those are not few pieces, Unlike the bags. Yeah.
So did you learn that from experience? And that's the point I wanted to bring out, because there are reasons, much as you may love this, like I like the fact that you sat back and said, okay, you thought through the business and said, I get more value for money. Because jewelry is lighter, I'll be able to get much more and the returns are higher. Yeah, I think that's a very critical thing that business people need to do to really assess the kind of business you're doing.
Yeah. So truth be told, I had to learn from experience.
Yeah.
Yes, because initially when I first went, I went with a little less than 10 million, about 9 million to use to shop. And I came back with like extra boxes and boxes. So I had to pay extra taxes and so on and so forth. But that's because I bought so many bags and shoes. So I figured the jewelry that I had was like compact, like in one whole suitcase. And yet it's one person won't come and just buy like one pair of earrings. No.
Most
and the
times,
truth is, ladies, for some reason, we lose the stoppers or we lose a pair of earrings. Somehow you'll drop them somewhere, you put them like on a desk or somewhere at home, and then somehow it will be easy for someone to come back and buy more jewelry. Like even the weekend jewelry, Monday jewelry is not like Friday jewelry, it's not like Saturday jewelry,
it's different.
Whereas a handbag, as much as maybe a weekend bag might not be exactly like a Monday, but still it doesn't matter. I can hold my bag
7
for
days.
like a whole month, exactly.
And if you're not a bag person, like I can hold one bag for 6 months and I won't
so you
care.
find that you have so much stock, very nice, amazing stock, but because someone has already bought one bag, it's enough. But the jewelry, even if they buy this week, next week they'll come and buy.
Come back,
Also the fact that it's much more affordable, a pair of like 20,000, as opposed to like the nice bags that I was bringing back then were like 350, 450. Yeah, but the quality is still amazing. I've actually met ladies who still have those bags and I'm wowed and amazed. It's over 8 years now? Yes, and they still have them.
And they're still holding the bags.
Yes.
Okay,
so that was something I had to learn on job.
On job. It's the experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So now when you decided, when your cousin told you that, you know what, Brenda, come and we do business. Did you then open up a shop? How were you selling initially?
Okay, so that's a very good question. Actually, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So initially, I didn't plan on opening up a shop. No, it was not in the plan. Why? Because I was trying to cut down on the cost.
On the cost, yeah.
Yes, since it was just a startup, it was like a beginning thing, So, and also I didn't have that much stock to open up a shop, So I used to sell things in the car, and I believe many business people can actually attest that they've done the same thing.
Yeah.
They've sold in the car boot, So I used to move from office to office, from friends taking me to referring me to a different person. Oh, I bought this. Oh, there's this lady. She's called Brenda. Reach out. She'll come. So I'd ask them to collect other ladies. Maybe I'd go during lunchtime or evening after work, or weekends. I would deliver. Some I would go to different homes. I actually toured places in Kampala, in and around Kampala around that time, And I would drive there, and I had boxes of bags, of shoes, of scarves, of watches, separate items separately, So you take it all out, they select, you write down, they give you money. Some of them wouldn't pay cash immediately.
Yeah.
But it was okay with me. Why? Because some I knew personally, some I did not.
Built credit over time.
Exactly, yeah. So I sold in the car for, I think, the first maybe 8 months. And then eventually business kept growing and growing, because I went back to China, I think, in less than 2 months of my first trip.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was just that lucky. I went back to China, and then I got more stock, because, I learned with business, not everything will sell at like in one go.
Yeah.
If it does, that's a miracle, Old new stock will sell the old stock somehow. So I went back, I got more stock, and then things kept moving slowly, and then before I knew it, by the time I made like the 8th month, I had like accumulated a lot of stock. So keeping it at home, so I decided to open up a store at Kisementi.
In Kisementi, yeah.
Yes. So when I got there, I actually opened up a store. It was not meant to be a show. Yes, I would dump everything in there. The next day I come and organize according to what people have asked for. Exactly, the orders.
Go out and deliver.
Some, if I know I'm seeing new clients, I would organize according to which office, what kind of jewelry do they allow? Some of us don't want like the big earrings, some don't want the shiny, some want like the petite small one. So you kind of organize yourself to take to the clients, and that's exactly how I ended up. So that store became the show. How? One of those mornings as I'm organizing myself and getting ready to leave, a lady walks in and she asks, hi, can I have a look at your bags? I'm like, yeah, you please do. She's like, no, you know what? I'll come back when you have organized yourself. I told her, no, this is a store.
This is a store,
I'm not going to put shelves. I'm not going to. She said, really? So she looked at the item. She's like, I want to see them when they're organized on the shelves, and then I'll come back. And I thought to myself, really?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, like, who are you to tell me what to do? This is a store. I'm actually going out. She insisted. I asked her, okay, if you can promise and buy me one bag from me, I'll open up a store. She said, really? So she paid for the particular bag she wanted. Okay. And I thought to myself, okay, so I have to open up a shop. Yeah, let me do my errands as well as have a location. Yeah, maybe when you have a location, things are more organized. People will easily see the items, on display, and then they'll be able to easily pick up whatever it is that they want. Yeah. And that's how I ended up opening up that shop. It was around, I think, because like December, between October and December
of that year.
Yes, we opened up a shop.
That's so interesting. It was like a bet. You need to get the shop going.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. You mentioned something that I think is very important. I just want to re-echo it. I like the fact that you understood your clients. You said, okay, if I'm going to, for example, a bank, they will not take the chunky earrings. So there's no point of carrying chunky earrings. You need the more classy and office-like type of
the
jewelry.
Subtle kind. Yeah.
So did you learn that also through experience, or how then did you then decide, okay, I'm going to segregate my market like this, and this is what goes to this person, this is what goes to this person?
No, so initially when I'd get like a client, and especially those that were inviting me into like workplaces, I would ask them, what kind of jewelry are you looking at? So I could know better, I would know better how best to organize what and how best to package what for who. So that's what really helped me out. But also having worked, but my company where I was working before was
it gave you an idea.
No, it was okay.
Liberal.
Yeah, for them they were okay as long as you perform. Of course, not like the big chunky kind. No, but they were not. That was not like a big problem ever. Yes.
Yeah, some places are more, liberal. Others,
yeah. But of course, from stories from friends, you go like the first experience you get is like, oh, you've brought this kind, we will not be able to use this kind. We are looking for this
particular one.
Yeah, so then I figured every time I'm going somewhere, I need to know what exactly are you looking at. Of course, I'd carry some few for the people who want to buy for the weekend or a function, for weddings or parties. Yes.
Okay. So how then did you get, because I know you have 2 shops.
Yeah.
What informed, and Kisementi is more our type, corporate, as we don't want to cross Kampala Road to go down. So what made you think and say, okay, now I have to go down? Yeah, because the contrast, I remember when you opened that shop down, I just landed into you. I was like, what? Brenda, you're here also. What are you doing here?
Yeah, and I saw this is my shop also.
And I was shocked. I was like, okay, because I only knew you on the Kisementi side.
True. So at some point, truth be told, business was really doing so well. And then I thought, if ever I'm going to be employed, they better be able to pay me a certain amount of money. Otherwise, I will not go back into employment. But also, just like that time, there was also another time when business was really, really slow and bad, like really slow, and you feel the pain right after lockdown, I think. So I went back and tried to look for jobs. I reached out to my former employers and chances were there. But then I thought to myself, will I handle? Am I competitive enough? I'm going to, because the company that I worked for, Deloitte, used to really source fresh people, right? Exactly.
Cream.
Thank you. Deloitte, it's known for that. They go and outsource for cream. So I thought to myself, I am going to go and I'm going to be working with such young, brains and whatnot. How about I stick to this? And I knew from then on that, first of all, the jobs are not really forthcoming, and the amount of money that I'm looking for, I do not think they are comfortable giving it to me at this point. Also, at my age, I want to enter at a certain level, like manager and all. But guess what? Thank you. But guess what? Am I fit for that level? Truthfully, no.
Because you had taken time out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was almost like 6 years of not being employed. So how am I going to, So I figured right then that I wanted to, if I'm deciding to stay in business, why not make it a little bigger?
A little bigger, yeah.
I had done my research, and for a long time I wanted to go into wholesale. Why? Because wholesale, the profit margin is small, but the turnover is usually bigger.
It's a volume business.
Exactly, yes, it's a volume business. The more you put in, the more comes out usually, and in a short period of time, and as opposed to the retail kind. So I thought about it so hard. I prayed about it. I really prayed for money because I believed I didn't want to go into getting loans.
Yeah.
No. I believed in a chapter that in Deuteronomy 28 that tells us we shall be lenders to nations and not borrowers. I just didn't want to go into borrowing.
Deuteronomy what?
Chapter 28, there's a verse somewhere in there. There are promises of God, but one of them tells us that we shall be lenders to nations and not borrowers. Yes, so I went by that and I prayed and waited and took my time. And lo and behold, I got a loan, but it was like not really, I cannot call it like a huge loan, because I was able to pay off, and the interest was like really, like I can't say there was even an interest, like really, if I talk about interest rates, it was like really minimal. So that's how I ended up going into wholesale. I did the math and I asked so many questions from the various friends that I have who are already doing wholesale. And off I went right after lockdown. So I've been into wholesale for like 1 year and like 8 months right now as we speak.
Okay, so wholesale and then retail on the upper side.
Yes,
I like that. The model. So you're not leaving money on the table.
No.
For wholesalers, I got you. For you who are buying 2 earrings, I also got you.
Yes, and I also try as much as possible to separate the items. Yes, because wholesale is looking for a particular
item. I know, because there are times I've asked you for stuff and then you say, no, that is on wholesale or that will be at Kisementi.
Exactly,
Okay. So now, I if you had not spoken to your cousin, Shivan, or who also has amazing pieces.
Yes.
If you had not spoken to Shivan, or if you had not spoken to your friends who are doing wholesale, do you think you would have made the decision to go into business in the first place when you said your cousin told you, come and we do business? Do you think you would have? Like, how did that affect your decision?
No, actually, I did not take long to make up my mind, because by the time I actually asked her about it, asked her, does it work with Bikola? Like,
you were already thinking about it.
Yeah, I was already thinking about it, but I needed someone to just tell me, Bifuna, Bikola, you can,
You can, yeah.
Yeah. And then another friend I asked is Hilda. I asked her, you started, because I started a little before.
I know she also has a shop in the
wholesale.
Yeah.
Exactly. I asked her, how have you handled wholesale? Bikola, like, how is it? So I'd ask them, so if you don't mind, tell me, how much do you make like a month? And they would tell me, and I'm like, what? Okay, wow. So that means I can actually give it a try, And that's how I ended up finding myself in wholesale. But initially, retail was my thing, and
Because the point I'm trying to get out, Brenda, is that sometimes you need someone to hold
push
your hand.
Yes.
And if 100%. You don't share, right? If you're those people who say, because you fear, you think competition, they'll come into your space. Sometimes then the business doesn't thrive, right? But you need someone to hold your hand
to direct you.
Yeah. Because imagine now you from your Deloitte and Tosh business, where are you going to start China?
Oh my goodness.
Because China is
but guess what, Brenda? Truth be told, I do not know if anyone can boldly stand and be like, I just woke up and I knew I wanted to do this by my own. I believe everyone has looked at someone.
Exactly.
Let it be the people that have told me. Let it be the people that I've actually introduced to.
You're right.
Because I have friends also who come and ask you, and you tell them, and I'm an open person, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you as is. You want to do business here? This is it. If you want to go to China, get ready. We shall go on this date. We shall go then, Because even me, when we went to China, we had different tests and we were shopping separately. we would enter the same shop, but completely different aisles, or even different shops, because we have different tastes and we're shopping for completely different people,
Yeah.
So yes, you're right. Everyone, I believe, needs a hand.
You need a hand.
We need that hand, apart from the grace of God, really. But
Yeah.
I've also managed to lead people there, some who started much later than me, said in different aspects. But yeah, we kind of need each other in a way.
Yeah. Because that time I went to China also with my partner Helen, it's because her auntie had gone with her on a trip and said, let's go and you see what China is like.
Yeah.
And I remember she came back with some pieces and everything, and then we discussed and we said, you know what, maybe we can start a party shop.
Yeah.
So by the time I went with her, she had been there. She had done that trip before.
Yeah.
So we knew, okay, we had advice, on accommodation,
Exactly.
which that accommodation is a story for another day.
Yeah.
And then
Those are some of the challenges.
it's
actually.
a challenge,
Oh my goodness.
And then someone then they had linked us to someone to like pick us and take us around, because there are very many markets in China.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone is like, okay, no, this is the jewelry market.
Yeah.
This is, you can go to the hair market. It's amazing when you're there, but someone had to hold our hand.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So I think
we need to help each other in a way. Of course, sometimes you will not share all the information.
Of course not. You just have to guard yourself because you need to make money. But the general one, it should be easier. The general
information, I believe I really shared it. Yeah. Things like now sharing contacts, like I got this from this one, I find that a little too much. So that I'm a little bit reserved. I'll share.
Because it's your business secret.
Exactly. I'll share, like, if you've shared a few items, I'll share really. But also you'll notice that sometimes someone is known more in that business, in that section. So you don't want to overly share, otherwise you lose out on the authenticity or.
So that I sold jewelry also. But now the problem I had is I was sourcing it from a friend a dear friend of mine, who was also sourcing it from someone in Tanzania. So there's a lot of sourcing. By the time it got to me, it was not as as cheap. So I was making very tiny margins. But also because I wanted to get market access, I was doing deliveries to offices, but I was doing it for free delivery. So at the end of that day, my margins were this tiny, and the business really had to close.
I know.
So then you talked about delivery, like you were initially delivering to people and roaming Kampala. How then do you decide and say, okay, I'm going to price this much? Because for me, what took me down was I was buying it expensively, and then I was trying to impress people. I was going to people's offices for free, and then not factoring in that I'm driving there or using a border there, or a border is delivering. So literally I was working for zero.
So initially, when I did not have a shop, I was not charging delivery, because I looked at it in the sense that since I'm not paying rent, I'm not paying taxes, I was not yet registered back then. So I was doing my things freelance. I would just put like a certain margin. Usually if I've bought a pair of earrings like at 6,000, I'll do like maybe times like 2.5 to cater for. I'll do like 6,000 times 2.5 to cater for my ticket, my fuel, and be able to make a profit off that as well, a small profit off that. So that's how I was doing it back then. But when I opened up the shop and all, I had to revise now to incur, because you have to take care of the rent,
the attendant,
the shop attendant. Yes, there are bills, there's power, there's all kinds of bills that come with it.
So then it becomes a bit more expensive.
A little bit, yes. But still, for you, because the thing is, once people get used to a certain amount of money, you will not change it drastically. No, you won't. So you have to stick to it, but only hope to make much faster sales, so that the margin might be less, but the volumes gives you the return that you're looking for. So if you're supposed to sell, for example, usually if you are doing like maybe after 2 months, then you do a trip. So now you have to try as much as possible to make the trip a little shorter, meaning you've sold much more than you would have. So you just have to keep with the prices. So
you just mentioned something that I wanted us to pick up. around the fact that you registered the business.
Yeah.
How has it been pre and after registration? Yeah, what is the experience like? Because most of us, when we start our hustles, we fear registering because taxes, things like that. Yeah, how has it been for you?
Okay, truth be told, if at all anyone's going to do any business and they are going to have a location, like you have a place, like you have an address, you know, the best thing and the easiest thing that you can do for yourself is go and register. Yeah. Most important, you just need to have a name, a business name that is not already existent. And even if it's already in the system, when you go to register, they'll tell you they're the easiest people to deal with. They'll just need your TIN, your name, and your address.
TIN, IFRIS.
Yeah, that's going to happen also. It's been around though. Yeah. So the basubuzi that are not like big time haven't been paying, but I think eventually we might have to pay. We hope we do not, because we've already been paying taxes anyway, the income tax annually, you know? Yeah. So this time they're trying to like really capture it and make it like more, more straight. But registering, I think, is the way to go. It also helps you put your business out there. Yeah. And it's already makes it like more known, I think. Yeah. You have your certificates displayed in the shops if you wish. God forbid, when these guys come around and they are like doing their checks and all, you already have everything in place. And it's the easiest thing to do. Yeah. And it does not really cost that much. That the registration, no, it's quite affordable.
And these days it can be done online, actually.
It can be done
Everything
online.
is literally online.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember there's a time we got locked, our shop got locked, but that was a while back because we had not finished the registration process. So unfortunate for us, the guys came as we were in the process. So the attendant calls and says, what? The shop is locked. So if you need a location,
if you have a location and you're doing business, you need to register. Yeah. But I believe that was also wrong because when I opened up, for example, opened up my second shop downtown, I opened up in October, in 2022, when I opened up. I had to explain to them because they come around like monthly around that time.
They come
so
to check.
So when they came, they saw, and I showed them, look, we're actually still opening up. We're just putting up displays. And I'm very glad to know that the people that worked with me then did not lock us up, but we had proper documentation to show that we are in the process.
Maybe because we were not there.
Maybe you were not there. Maybe the shop attendant did not know how to explain to them.
She had even never heard of it. Exactly. She didn't know. She was not informed. In all fairness, she was not informed.
Yeah, so maybe that's the reason, but usually they shouldn't lock you up. They should let you go on with the registration. Yeah. You'll tell them in less than a week they'll be back and they'll confirm that actually you're now registered and ready to work. Yeah. Same applies to the people who are doing the tax collections and all, and they're trying to see if we've paid or not. They came around the same time and I showed them I've just opened up the shop. So I don't have any tax, I don't have any income tax to pay in this particular place. And everything was quite evident. Yeah. Okay. And I showed them in the process of registration, we're not going to pay any taxes. There's nothing to pay tax for,
And I think also maybe because you had worked for an audit firm and you're a bit more knowledgeable, you had studied, you're intelligent, about the taxes and also the information, maybe you had gathered it. Yeah. But I feel most times business owners do not understand. Even me, if you asked me to break down for you taxes in business, I stop somewhere.
Same. Guess what? Same applies to me and to many of us. Yeah. But I think what's most important is for us to have a background knowledge, a background understanding of what it is that you're being taxed for, what it is that you're paying for. Yeah, so, and the information is there. I guess most of us just don't check. I would imagine like if you go to URA, if you go to a URA website, you should be able to get that information. Yeah, one thing I've also appreciated about downtown, they actually do have classes. Oh, yes, the URA people, the URA team sends out a number of people to go and they'll tell them that on this day at this time, we'll have URA people. They'll come here, they'll explain to you what particular tax means and who is supposed to pay what and what are the calculations like. And they're really, really helpful.
Oh, so they do that sensitization. I didn't know that. That's do a lot very, of sensitization. Very helpful.
Yes, I've noticed. I found it downtown. Uptown, I have not seen it anywhere. So I think the people uptown, uptown are So yeah. But if only they would also do it for the people uptown, then it would make much more sense, and then also reduce on their struggle and also on our struggle.
That means the people downtown who don't pay clearly just don't want to pay.
Do not want to pay, but also as much as the sensitization it's there, but not everyone attends. You get, because they'll call for classes. But how about if I'm the one seated in my
shop? You're not going to close your shop.
Exactly, just to go and learn, But also, it would mean a lot if people really took the time and went and attended those classes, because there are people to really pay attention and explain to you.
Okay, kudos to you, RA. I really didn't know they actually
do that part. They do that part,
Okay, so tell me, what was your first experience in China like?
That is a story. Oh my goodness.
I always like to hear Basubuzi so to say experiences to the different countries they go to.
Yeah. So my first experience was maybe fair. Because I traveled with my cousin.
Oh yeah. So
she knew where she was going. She knew where we were going. We were going to the same markets. She was not dealing in certain items like shoes and handbags.
Yeah.
But she chose to take me there, so she would give me like that time of the day. We're going to the shoe market this day, so I would know where the location is and all. But my first experience, first of all, the journey is quite long. The tickets were so ridiculously high back then. The visa is quite expensive. So the going is not so bad because we used Qatar Airways, still my number one. Anyway. The stopover was amazing, but then the hotels in China. Oh my goodness. It's horrible, like bad, by the way. So they do not change your bed sheets.
No, they don't.
The meals are horrible. Okay, we didn't really know our way around, like the people that make the local food. Right now, there are people that make very good food, and then there are Arab restaurants as well. They're a bit pricey.
Yeah, actually, because the time I was there, the only decent food I ate was the day before we left, after 10 days, because someone took us to a Turkish restaurant.
Exactly, the Turkish restaurants are there. They have nice pilau and chicken and beef and mutton for the even chapati. They have proper black tea, spice. They actually do black spice tea, milk spice tea. Thank you, So you'll find that feel. But the truth is, it's a bit pricey.
It is.
Yeah, the only good side to it is that it's a huge portion. Like 3 people can comfortably share it. Yes. But the hotels were horrible, so the experience was not as good. Also the distance, the walking. Oh my goodness.
I asked that because I wanted people to know that.
I walked until I could find wounds in between my thighs.
Because I have big thighs. I got bruises between my thighs.
Yes, I got bruises. And you don't have a choice. You have to keep walking because even tomorrow you have to keep walking.
10 days.
Another thing that I found then was we'd have to carry those goods. So
I carried on my head.
Sweat. Thank you. You carry the goods. You sit on a bike with a whole load.
Are they bikes? Tuk-tuks? No?
Yeah. No, not even the tuk-tuks. They are the real bikes. Yes, with these papas. And then the worst bit is in the evening when the police guys are chasing them. They don't allow them to ride. So if you're not careful, that guy will hit you, will throw you off, and continue riding.
Yes.
And the other guys might knock you if you're not careful, Let
me tell you,
there are all those horrible
experiences. Night in Guangzhou, the hotel, because I think we went at a wrong time. I think the Canton Fair was just ending, so most of the hotels were booked out. So when we got there, the hotel we were meant to sleep in was booked out. Also because they don't really book. You have to wait at the reception. Whoever exits, they end, then you enter without changing sheets meanwhile.
Oh my goodness.
So we needed a place to crash. So the guy that picked us recommended a hotel. You guys, I've never seen filth in
the bathrooms.
Do you know green algae?
Yeah.
The sink had green algae. Yeah. The bathrooms. I'm like, but this is a business town.
I know.
So my partner Helen and I decided, okay, it's late in the night. We have nothing to do. We can't just go sit at receptions.
I know.
So we got our lesus.
Yeah.
You could not sleep on the bed. The bed looked like 20 people had slept in it for 10 years and it had never been changed. So we we just got lesus, put on the bed and lay like this. Like Even the wall, we didn't want to touch the wall. And then we just lay like corpses like this. Then at 6, we just did this. Folded the laces, put in a bag, and we walked out. We didn't even brush, we didn't shower, we didn't do nothing because you could not do anything in that hotel.
I know. We travel with like Dettol liquid.
Yeah.
So when you go to shower,
Yeah.
you first sanitize the area, pour a Dettol,
yes.
and then you shower. You make sure that as you shower, the water shouldn't splash
back on you.
You know, that means you can't. There's a lot that you can't
there are
do.
things we're supposed to go through
But
that they
guess
don't
what,
tell
Brenda?
you.
Much later we realized it's because we had been exposed to particular hotels.
Yeah,
There are much better hotels.
I was speaking
and
to...
the price range is more or less the same. Right now you sleep and you're comfortable. The only bad side is that most of those hotels do not change bed sheets. That's the truth.
Because I spoke
so if you
to
expect
Tanya
them to
earlier.
change bed sheets daily,
and she said for her, when she goes to China, she sleeps in like a much better hotel.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, people have that thing. You have to save every money,
Yes.
And I kept thinking, but why?
But why? Why suffer when you cannot even suffer that much here? But the truth is because you have a certain amount of money that you're going to spend.
So you cannot
look at
tap
the
into
accommodation,
it, yes.
the meals, the transportation, this and that, and you're like, no. I have to go for a particular certain hotel. But much later, we realized that there are much better hotels.
Yeah.
And the prices are more or less the
You're
same.
not saving too much.
No, that difference is like what? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe
There's
like
30,000.
hotels
called, is it 1 minute, 2 minutes? You've heard of those. So we were sleeping, I think, in 3 minutes. I don't know why they are called 1 minute. There's 1 minute, 2 minutes.
They closed after lockdown.
They closed. Yes. They had 1, 2, 3, up to 4 minutes.
No, up to about like 12.
Really?
Yes, they were quite
Why were they called minute? I don't understand.
No
It's so weird.
I have no idea.
But then you had to wait at the reception for someone to check out. So we kept hoping someone checks out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd have to go back to the other hotel.
Yeah.
And then also, if you're a Ugandan lady and you're sitting at the reception, the assumption is you're selling yourself.
I know.
So you get people approaching you.
Yeah. Even Chinese are very weird. They'll also be like, hi, give me some.
Give me some. Yeah, because what I noticed is that people that go to China to sell themselves hang at the reception for customers.
And they were usually in the minute hotels. I think a
hotels.
particular one was either 1 or 2
Yes.
minutes. I've never slept in any of those though.
So by the time you're waiting at the reception for someone to check out, people are hitting on you like, give me the price.
That's quite annoying.
Yeah, but you need to go through it to appreciate business people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, on our trip back, I thought to myself, so this is how I've actually suffered. I have carried literally all these things, like drag them through the malls, come outside. I have you would walk the whole day. You actually don't get hungry. Yes.
Yeah, because you don't want to drink in the morning because you don't want to use the dirty bathrooms whole day.
During the whole day you won't, know. But even then, there's no hunger. Remember the first time I came back, I'd lost so much weight. I was like, hey, you've lost weight. Why? I was like, no, actually, I was not suffering, but I was not eating.
Skins. I came back and my skin was that sauna heat. Yes, my skin was looking,
that's good then.
I'd lost weight, but the skin was
that
good.
You really have to media through this thing makes me appreciate business ladies and the men out there because it's not easy.
It's really,
People
really not easy.
Get onto the plane, come back, they think you're going to really have a good time. Nope, it's a real hustle.
Let me tell you, I carried a box on my head.
This nice hair and whatnot, makeup, completely nothing. You're in shorts and t-shirts or workout clothes or leggings and vests and a sweater around your waist, or you're real whatever.
I'll not even talk about, because me and you have a particular body shape. The harassment I faced, my goodness. Like everyone, guys would be asking, copy, original. Copy, original.
I found them in the markets, and you walk and they talk about you, and you turn back and they're looking.
They would even
They
follow.
even ask to touch.
Yes,
and I'm like, it's okay. If you want to feel a woman wants to, I'm like, is it okay? I'm like, yeah, it is.
But then you realize they are actually innocently naive in this 21st century.
Yes.
I'll just be like, okay, you touch.
And they'll be like, this is Rihanna.
It's natural.
Rihanna.
Then they call their friends, hey, come.
Oh, yes, I'd forgotten that bit. Yes, that's so true.
That was the funniest bit about it. I could not believe. I'm like, if you come to Uganda, you'll die because there's original big everywhere.
Everywhere you turn,
Okay. So then has your experience improved over time?
A lot,
Yeah.
a lot better. I can actually use the train from the airport.
Yeah.
I have friends who use the train in like from the hotels to like the different markets. I have adamantly refused to use them because Chinese have a very big problem. They don't like using English language.
No, they don't.
So I am not about to get lost because the stories that we've had from these gentlemen that usually pick us up from the airports, they'll tell you, I have slept in a train before. I've slept in a train before. Why? Because it was going. I kept getting off, getting lost. So I have refused to use the trains.
Even with their buses, you get lost. But
yeah,
at least
you do get lost. But at
find
least
a
with
way.
the buses, if you know a particular number is supposed to take you to a particular destination, that's okay.
But let me tell you the beauty and the importance. I can't even emphasize this enough, guys. The importance of someone holding your hand.
Oh my goodness.
Because by the time we went, they have bus numbers.
Yeah.
So we knew someone had mapped us for us the numbers
Yes.
and said, when you go to this place,
Yeah.
take bus number 502.
Yeah.
It's the only one that is going to take you to that market.
Yeah.
Then when you reach here, take 506. Otherwise, you can reach there and you're like,
Which one?
which
is taking
bus
me
am I
there?
taking?
I know.
So it's very important to handhold people through this journey.
Very important, and it's also very important for us to ask.
yeah.
Sometimes we're afraid of asking, but you never know. You might be lucky. You might ask someone who is
willing
and able to help.
Yeah.
Because personally, like I've told, I refuse to use those buses. Also because transportation is not that expensive. Like a cab from the hotels where we usually sleep to like the jewelry market, I usually pay like less than 15,000.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I think to myself, as opposed to getting lost, let me do this route that I am comfortable with, that I know, you know. Yeah. But also, like on my last trip, I realized I could actually use very little money on it, like 2 RMB to get to the next destination. Yeah. So if I can save that 15,000 also, yeah, but
and
it
it's
depends.
The mindset
it's
we
the
have.
mindset also.
Yeah.
It also depends on what really works for who. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you shared your China experience because you brought back
The
memories
meals.
on the meals,
toilets.
the groping, I came back and the only thing it did though is when I came back, I thought I was going to be a millionaire in like 1 year because you go to, I'm like, now maybe I start exporting our packaging because we went to the packaging market.
Yes.
My sister then had a restaurant and she needed me to bring her like coffee cups. I'm like, oh my God. And I kept seeing some Ugandan brands in the shops. I'm like, now I'm going to get into packaging.
Yeah,
Not
it's
knowing,
got too many ideas. I always tell people, Nalwao, like I took long to discover China. I should have discovered it earlier. Yeah. So I always encourage people. I'm like, just hit China and go.
You can even just do a trip, just to go see and come back.
Do a trip and see. But I always tell them, do not come back empty-handed.
Yeah.
Get whatever it is that you think you can get.
Thank
you that's going to bring back at least your ticket and accommodation money. I do not like a person who goes to China and comes back empty-handed.
But that's also something you learn from people. Because now I would never have thought it. But because my partner had gone through that, she kept telling us, okay, let us pick quick things to sell.
Yeah, easy.
So that in the first 1 month, you've made back the money that you used on the air ticket.
Exactly.
And I found that so interesting. Just the way, then it just hit me that maybe some of us are not meant for business. But business people will think through. I'm like, how did someone think through that? Yeah.
No, because you don't want to make losses as much as you're learning. But you can hit two stones.
And then you're able to make back your money anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting. I wanted us to talk through, and I'm happy you've done that because most people then will wonder. Some people, not most, but some people will wonder, where do I even start from? Right? What is the experience like? I feel speaking to you makes it doable. Like it's possible. It's
doable.
Yeah.
But also, apart from like getting a person to really lead you there right now, I later on discovered that there are people who actually, like the shipping companies, if you know you have like 1, 2, 3 items that you think you want to deal with, there are several shipping companies from China. They will help you with getting your visa. There are visa people that will help you. They'll send you the application, the invitation letter. They'll pick you up from the airport. They'll take you to a hotel. They'll pick you up the
what
next
we did
day
as well.
and then they'll take you to the various markets, and then you will decide where and what you want to deal in. So if a person really, really wants to go and they have failed to get a particular person to talk to, I feel like that should not be the stop. There are different shipping companies. I woke up a year later in 2019 and I went to Vietnam solo. Okay. Why? Because after I had been to China, I figured I could hit any country solo. As long as I know that someone's going to pick me up. And who is that person? It's got to be accredited, a credible shipping company. Yes, I have to have created rapport with them. You know, I woke up and hit Vietnam alone. And I hit the streets alone. I got whatever it is that I wanted and got back home.
Because you had built confidence and courage, and I mean, I feel like if you've navigated the streets of Guangzhou in China, you can literally go to any other country because the experience there is not easy. Yes, they're not as friendly. But if you can navigate that, it becomes easier. Yeah. So how do you handle competition? I mean, someone will argue and say, okay, every time I turn my head, there's a jewelry shop.
I know, that's
right?
Very true.
Like everywhere you turn, there's a jewelry shop. Your cousin is doing jewelry. You have friends in jewelry. Does competition scare you?
Yeah, it does scare me. But how am I handling competition? Competition is a part of the game, you know. You go out there, there's no way you're going to be the only one dealing in that particular item. Let alone be the only one in that particular location dealing in that. You know, if you are, then you're a bit lucky, you know, but I don't even think you're going to thrive alone. Sometimes when you have competition, it opens up your mind a little more so you know better what to deal with, you know. But how am I handling competition? Personally, I make sure I try as much as possible to get the new designs, you know, look for the latest trending things, you know. You have to be on top of your game. And then if you can, as much as possible, bring in items as like at least monthly. Make sure you have new stock, you know, because people want to see a new something, a new item that someone does not have, a new this and new that.
They want unique items.
And then they also want them affordable. But also, I'm not just going to settle for just affordable. I want to settle for affordable, but also quality. Good quality. Yeah, because I have been known for that from the beginning. When I was starting my retail shop, I was buying the expensive items. I had earrings going for as far back as 60,000 back then. But truth be told, when I look back right now, people still have them and they're still intact and they're still good. Yes. So as much as I'm now also into wholesale, even the wholesale that I'm doing, I'm trying to get quality because there are people who are buying from me and reselling. So I want them to resell and the end user should be able to go back and then they'll come back, you know. So that's how I'm trying to deal with competition. And also really try as much as possible to market yourself.
What would you say is your best marketing tool?
I do not have the best yet because I'm still really still struggling and trying so hard to put Just Brie out there. But I believe social media is amazing. It's such an amazing
the brand
tool.
is Just Brie.
Yeah,
even
Just Brie is
Instagram.
JYST.
Yes, on Instagram she's also Just Brie.
Just Brie. Just Brie and Bristol Parkview. Anyway, the truth is, social media is very, very important because people are out there looking for items, especially on Instagram, on TikTok, on things like Facebook. As much as Facebook has issues here in Uganda, but still we really try. When you post, people still come out and ask. But also, what is really trending, I think, right now are the influencers. So getting an influencer to like put out your brand and talk about your item and show that, this item is from Just Brie store, I believe is a plus.
Do you already have some
influencers doing that? Not yet.
Let me do that for free. Yes. Just Brie store.
So I think
Just Brie store. I think most of my jewelry comes from Just Brie store for sure.
Even this watch. I've had this for like 4 years and it's still intact.
Just Brie store.
Thank you.
So I know you talked about competition and how you're handling, because people will be like I said, people like, okay, the jewelry is everywhere, blah blah blah. So where do you see Just Brie like in the next 2 to 3 years?
The next 2 to 3 years, I believe we are going to be bigger in terms of followers, like on social media, in terms of clients, because we're still in the game. We're still looking for the clients. Personally, I'm targeting the corporate team, the corporate people who want to be like smart, elegant, smart, subtle, smart, that thing, that item that is so little and it speaks volumes, on like complement your whole outfit. So I believe in the next 2, 3, 5 years, we are still going to be here. We're still going to be serving the people that we are serving with better stock, with newer brands, and maybe we'll have expanded an extra location, an extra shop.
Okay, so if someone came to you today and said, Brenda, I'm giving you 20 million shillings, for example, for your business, what is that thing that you would put it to?
Okay, first, I think what I would use that money for, because I already have that taste, I already have the contacts, I already have quite a number of things. But what I would use that money for right now for me is to market the business,
marketing.
to put it out there, to make it more known. It's already known. I have like several return clients.
Yes.
And I like that they actually have helped me go ahead and made referrals. Exactly. But still, I would go out there and like source the influencers and get them. Why? Because I've seen there's a lot of there's power in influencer
marketing.
So if I could if I could get that money, I would really like pay them, make sure they come and check out my goods, because they reach a certain number of people that I cannot reach. Yes, that I have not yet reached. Actually, and also maybe make like more displays, or
It's I like that you have a focus on marketing, because you've run the business and now you trust your quality, you trust the things that you sell, and you now just want to be able to make sure everyone knows about the brand.
Exactly.
Just breathe. I think there's an episode we did earlier with the cooking nurse where she breaks down the role of influencers and how they can help your business. It's like the new breed of marketing right now. Even the bigger companies, corporate companies are using influencers.
Coca-Cola is using influencers. And you wonder Coca-Cola.
Even the brewery companies. Everyone is using influencers.
It's an eye-opener, and I know for sure. Jasper needs them, and I'll get them. So 3 things before we come to the end of our session. The first one is, if I would like you to speak to my viewers or listeners out there, someone who wants to make the jump and say, okay, this is what I want to do. What advice or motivation would you have for them? Okay, for the person that is out there that wants to make the jump, to take the leap of faith, I'll tell you for a fact, if I had not been given the chance to get out of my comfort zone, to get out of the fact that I was still looking for jobs here and there, trying to sketch and kill time, I would not have known that 8 years later I can sustain business, that it can grow, it can become bigger, it can become better, it can expand, and it has brought back a certain amount of money and helped me settle certain items. So I would like to encourage anyone and everyone, take the leap of faith to go out there, do what it is that you feel you love, that you feel you have a touch for. Don't go out there to try and be like someone else. Don't go out there and try to be like a particular person just because ABCD is doing ABCD. No. First of all, develop the love. When you have the love, you'll notice that as much as you're dealing in, might be the same item, you'll notice that your taste is completely different. Yes, and that, what does that mean? You attract a different kind of clientele. So go out there, take the leap of faith, pray about what you want to do, and go exactly and do it. I like what you said, that history. Do what you love. Remember the example I gave earlier, someone will say, oh, I paint, but if you love painting, it speaks for itself.
Much as I have the money to start a painting company, I'll never do the work you do, because I'm not that passionate about it. Thank you for that. And then the other, which of course if you watch my episodes, I ask everyone, your best and worst client experience.
Okay. My best client experience, I think for me, is the feedback. The feedback. It feels very good like on some of those, like there's been rare days that are a little bit harder than others, and you're seated and probably have not seen a client the whole day, and out of the blue, an angel of a client will send you a message and be like, oh, hi Brenda, by the way, can you imagine I'm still rocking my bag, or I'm still rocking my jewelry.
Yes.
Do you have more? I've had this, oh my God, I referred. And you're like, oh wow, as much as I'm not really selling in this particular moment, someone out there is really putting you out there, putting your name out there, helping you be known more.
Yeah.
So the feedback, then watching your clients rock your items. Oh my goodness. Anyone that has gotten items from me, they know I'll be like, oh, those earrings are nice.
They're nice.
And they'll be like, I got them from, I'm like, yeah, that's why they are nice, you know. And they're like, Brenda, calm down. I'm like, yeah, but they are nice, and they're nice. That's why you're rocking them, you know. So there's that feel good that you have when you have return clients, when you have people complimenting your items and making and doing as many referrals as possible. Yes. That's like really, really my best experience when it comes to business. My worst client experience, I do not think I've had a worst experience yet. No, but I've had like weird experiences where a client will come and take an item. One particular one took a clutch bag. I was not there to see the person. Took a clutch bag and she says she did not use it, but then she brought it back 6 months later.
6 months later?
Yeah, 6 months later. And she's actually telling me, and she showed me the bag, and I'm like, but this is really old stock. Actually, don't remember when I sold this. Yes. This is really old. She's like, yeah, I bought it about 6 or 7 months later, but I did not use it.
So why was she bringing it back?
She brought it back so we could exchange for another thing that she's going to use. And I thought to myself, are you really thinking to yourself as you're telling me this, like really?
6 months.
So 6 months you want me to take it back?
Yeah, even the big stores do not. They have a period. It's normally
6
like
months. You want me to take it back
or something?
You know, lately there are notifications that are put in the shops. Goods once taken cannot be returned. Yeah, but still we have those clients that we really know who they will genuinely return an item like same day, or you know. If the money has not been banked yet, we'll tell you, you know, you can exchange or, you know. But if the item is intact, I asked her, is it broken? No. Is it? I'm like, okay, 6 months, even if it were broken, I'm sorry.
You know? Yeah.
So there have been such experiences.
Weird experiences.
Yes, and they're like, how am I supposed to really help you? 6 months later, I'm so sorry, I will not take it back. And then they give you threats.
Of course.
I have told people about your shop. I'm going to tell people you're so unreasonable. You're not understanding what.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, you only came to me because I think you liked the items, you liked the product, you liked the price. You know, I'm trying as much as I possibly can be not to be that expensive. So I believe that's why you've come, you know, to me. Yeah. And that's why you can actually have the guts to come back and return an item 6 months later. But unfortunately, I cannot have it.
And also others will come for the same purpose.
Thank you. But you cannot worry, you cannot scare me that, oh, I've given you clients, but no, because you cannot take back an item 6 months later, I will tell them not to come back. Yeah. I thought to myself, you know what, it is well, but I don't think anyone anywhere will allow such an item. Yeah, or an exchange. And then what?
No, it's very unreasonable.
It is completely sold out. People have wanted it in the past and I've told them, sorry, it is sold out. And then you bring it back 6 months later. Then you bring it back.
When you have new stock, and you know, with women's things, fashion, it's not now out of fashion. Then that's a bit unfair.
Yeah, so that's what I've had as a weird experience, really. Yeah.
Okay, so if I want to wear a Just Brie earring, or if I want to get a Just Brie bag, maybe you can tell us, where do we find you? Where are your shops located?
Yeah. Okay, so for wholesale, I have a shop at Parkview. Parkview is a building in between Majestic and I think Gazaland. Yes. So Parkview, when you come from the backside, not the main entrance, but the backside is William Street. Along that William Arua Park side, when you come that side, there's a small entrance going up. So level 5, shop number 13.
Level 5, shop number 13.
Yes. When you take the staircase, actually just turn to your right, and it's a shop in the corner.
Your shop is right there in the corner. It's quite easy. Yeah.
So that's where our wholesale shop is. But it's not only wholesale, it also does retail.
A bit of retail.
Yes. Yeah. That's the number 1 location for wholesale. The second location, which was the first shop, is at Kisementi in Kamocha. There's a building called Crane Plaza. B15. B15 is basement. To your right is B15. Right.
Yeah, as soon as you get down, it's the first shop. Yeah. And on social media?
On social media, we are mainly on Instagram. Unfortunately, our Instagram pages have been stolen like twice, so now we are trying to
why
grow.
do people do that though? I've heard that from
Several
I see
business
people,
right?
business people. They say my account has been taken over.
Yeah,
It's so
over.
worrying.
My goodness, it's horrible.
It's like hackers or what?
I think it's hackers, but also people who are very good with internet, with technology and all, who come and steal a page that has followers of a particular item, so they'll sell it out maybe, or I don't know, I've not
so
understood.
they're after the followers?
Yes, they are after the followers.
That's so evil.
Yes, and guess what? They'll just send you a notification. You'll be like, are you sure this is your page? And you'll be like, yes, this is my page, and that's it. From then you have no control over it.
Because I remember there's a time I first saw it. There's a lady called Kemi. She's one of the, I think, the influencers on Instagram.
Oh,
it was the first time
yes.
I heard. The first time I saw it, and people were saying, "Oh, they took over her page."
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, how does someone take over your page? But I think it happens a lot.
It does happen lately. I've noticed so many people, so many friends in business. You'll notice they had like 8,000, 5,000 followers, and now they're like at 200, 150, and you're wondering why, how. When you ask them, they're like, man, my page was stolen. And we don't understand how it happens. You wake up in the morning and boom.
And when you complain to Instagram, for example,
there's no help. Because in the first place, they sent you a notification, or you must have tapped your phone somehow and boom, before you know it, you've given them authority. And they've taken over. You cannot find it.
It's scary, though.
Scary, but also really, really sad. Like it really takes you back.
It's because people put in effort to grow their following.
Grow the followers. And when you have an organic following, people have grown to follow you out of the items that you've posted or because they've liked the page. It's really saddening. But on Instagram, for the wholesale shop, it's Bristow Parkview. Yeah, Bristow is BREE, then the word store, STORE, Parkview. Yeah. And then the Cementi one is Just Bree. Just Bree is JYSTBREE. Yeah.
All right.
Just Brick Cement.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think us Brendas, we rock.
Yes, we do.
So it was an honor having you on the show to share your experience, your sourcing journey, and just to motivate people out there that it's possible and they need to start. And I believe in the next 3-5 years, Just Bree will be where you want it to be.
I pray so.
Thank you. And guys, if you need jewelry, you need to accessorize, you know who to go to.
Lots of accessories actually.
I've seen bags, scarves, hair things, brooches,
hair accessories. Thank you so much, Brenda, for having me.
No, welcome.
I really had a good time.
I did have a good time. I know with these things you can talk, but so thank you so much. And guys, you've heard it from her, right? You need to start. Just start, follow your passion, and you just never know where your business will take you. Start, and you just never know. Thank you again for journeying with me on this episode. Another exciting episode of Rise and Thrive. Like I've always promised you, we rise and thrive together in our businesses. Till the next time.